Female athletes have consistently broken boundaries when it comes to sport, so much so that the definition of who they are and who people view them to be continues to evolve. At the Paris Olympics, the Irish women's 4x400 metre relay team took to the greatest stage of all with bows in their hair, their makeup on fleek and their jewellery on show. It sparked a predictable reaction and generated plenty of publicity. To some, it seemed frivolous, to others, maybe a potential hindrance to their performance, but for the team itself, it was a perfectly natural thing to do. Why?
It's just, for me, it's about like feeling good. I feel like you've heard a lot of us say in the running world, like, look good, feel good, run good. Terrible English, but I do think we kind of live up to that a lot. Like, if I am, regardless for what it is, if it's like a really big training session that I have, if I feel put together, if I feel like my hair is slicked back, I have a bit of colour on my face and mascara on, I just feel like I'm going to perform better and I'm going to run better. And then obviously that comes into racing then, when you have, like, for myself anyway, I treat racing nearly like going out in some ways. Like, you know, I have my whole day planned out. I have when I'm going to start doing my makeup, my hair, and honestly, a lot of it as well is just like a nice distraction from like what is about to happen, like the race, the nerves. It's a really nice way to distract yourself. And I don't know, you just feel so powerful. Well, I do anyway. When I am standing on the start line and I know that I look good, it's just lining me up for a great race.
Whether Sophie and her peers intended to or not, they ignited a conversation around that idea of how femininity is expressed in sport. Showing a glimpse of your personality doesn't devalue your competitive nature, just as refraining from doing so doesn't make you a more serious contender. Becker outlines the importance of choice, especially in terms of how it can impact girls who might look up to them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just as like, it's the choice, having the choice to pick whether or not you want to wear makeup. Even when it comes to like my racing outfit, like there's so many different I can wear like a one piece, I can wear a crop top and shorts, I can wear the briefs, arms, like just having the choice. Like, you don't have to just wear one thing, you don't have to dress a certain way to compete at a high level. Like, there's so many options out there, and I think yeah, sport is just amazing in that sense, that like, even I feel like I probably wasn't that big into my hair and makeup and stuff like a good few years ago, and then I suppose, I don't know, the more I started performing on the big stage, the more I wanted to like, oh, I want to get a bit better at my hair, a bit better at my makeup, and yeah, it can kind of like open interests for you as well, which is great.
There are lots of ways to express your identity, on and off the pitch. What's important is that the choice is there, and in that lies true equality. For instance, Collingwood AFLW player, Central Coast Mariners football player, and former Mayo LGFA star Sarah Rowe speaks about how she tries to enter a focused state of mind on her performance, and so doesn't so much focus on her appearance while playing. Off the pitch, though, she's always felt strongly about taking a more holistic view on the nuances of people, showing that sports people are far beyond one-dimensional personalities.
I think, like, in terms of my mindset, when I need to get into a space where I'm like, I need to perform, like, I need to forget about like everything, like how you look, like what you feel like, because you're not, as a female, like, you know, with hormones, with all those things, like you're not always going to feel good, like going out to play a game. So I'm sometimes like, um, I need to kind of step into that state of mind where become like really, I don't know, I suppose like tunnel visioned about what I'm doing. So I do find that I almost have to channel this energy in myself before I perform. But I still don't shy away from the fact that like I like to do my hair, like I like to do all those things as well. Um but then off the field, like like I am very girly in I suppose the way I carry myself. So do I see them as coexisting? Um Not really. Yeah, I do see them as coexisting. Yeah, really, if I was to answer that question, I'm um I know that like this kind of like never for me males against females. Like that's never the way I view sport and us against them. It's a um get to know what the men are doing, understand what the men are doing, and you know, if they've been in the game a lot longer than us, like we can learn a lot from them, and like two minds together can give the complete package. And you know, men need the feminine side and the feminine decision making, and we need the male side and their decision making as well. So like, again, essentially the sum of all the parts is what I feel like you need in sport. So yeah, I've always kind of been of that like collaborative approach. And if I was to work in sport or business or anything, going forward in life, I would never be of this like it's unfair in us and you guys get some more. I'd always be like, we can learn a lot from each other. Let's bring it all together.
She also talks about how it's important to maintain identity outside of sport and tries to display this publicly on her social media channels.
One part of me is so sporty and loves that element of like the competitive nature of sport and um being, really disciplined, and I suppose in ways having to step into that kind of more masculine side of you when you cross the white line. And then I think the other part of me has always been like really feminine in just the way I am, like girly by nature. Um and definitely don't shy away from that. And I've always been into like, things like fashion, hair, like anything beauty related or like health and well-being, like love looking after, mind, body and soul essentially, and always like kind of like look at everything from a like holistic view. So I think I've always been really interested and just love that those parts of my life as well. Like, and like just because you play sport, obviously it doesn't mean that you have to be always kind of fighting this battle of like women in sport. You're like, no, at the end of the day, you are a woman and you do love all those things.
Historically, of course, there have been times where women have been told what to do and what to wear, but there are signs that the wider public view is changing, albeit slowly. It's only right that female athletes exercise their own free will to choose.
Can clothing actually give you an advantage? Yes, in some cases it can, and that's the actual the function of the garment as well. But in this case, the skirt, as noted by the players, was not helping the game. Now, it was an overwhelming majority of players who did not want to wear skirts anymore. Obviously, it doesn't speak for every single player, but because of the very high majority of players who did not think that the skirt worked anymore and wasn't comfortable enough to play the game, that should have never gotten in the way of playing the sport itself.
Fitzarchery says clothing has been the last vestige of control over women, and this has been true in sport too.
I often wonder what it is about what women wear that control over it is somewhat always seeping into different aspects of society. And I think it might just be like the last vestige of control over women, really, what they can wear. As I mentioned, it's a $1 trillion industry, beauty and fashion, because of the association of how one presents themselves in the world. So there always is a reliance on how society perceives you, and also if one cares of how society perceives them. And so by focusing on what people wear, I think there is an element of control there, but because you're taking away choice. That's really what it is. It's the choice, and I mentioned it again, of comfortability and being comfortable, because through that comfort is liberation, and through that comfort is freedom, and that's how one can truly be, liberated, either as a just a sole person or as a gender as a whole.
Having overcome so many barriers to this point, women should embrace their femininity and their individuality however they see fit, whether that's on the track, the pitch, or in their everyday life.
Of course, I love my jewellery. I think like that's what I love to add to things. I could be wearing like a really like basic, boring outfit, but then I just love like big gold statement earrings. I love my rings. You can literally hear me coming a lot of the time because I have so much jewellery on. And yeah, even when I'm racing, I like to kind of add a little bit of that into my like race outfit. So obviously I have like my New Balance race kit, which I absolutely love. And then with that, I'll wear like my jewellery. I know a lot of people are like, how can you run with jewellery on? But I don't know, I just wear jewellery all the time. So of course I'm going to wear it when I'm racing, or else I would literally feel naked. Well, yeah, when I'm racing, I love my jewellery. And yeah, depending my hair, sometimes I like changing up my hair as well. I'll trial a different like race hairstyle in training to make sure that it's actually going to like stay up or stay in one piece when I'm training, to make sure that for the race it's okay. So yeah, and I might add like some clips or some fun like go-go's or whatever into it for the race. But yeah, I just love kind of adding little bits to make it your own.
This video is part of the Same But Different series, looking at what sets women's sport apart. For more, you can follow the series on the Irish Independent.